Good morning guys, today is Wednesday, December 7th, and the day that you're watching this video is going to be Monday. I don't know the actual date, but it's going to be on Monday. And today I decided to pre-film a Q&A because if you watched my previous video, then you know that Omar and I are going to be in Chicago. We're flying out on Friday, so in like 2 days. And I decided to pre-film a video because the first couple of days in Chicago are going to be super busy. We have Omar's sister's graduation and just like seeing family and all this other stuff. So I honestly just didn't think I'm going to have enough time to film. So I wanted to have something to go up, and I announced it on my Snapchat. I said that it could be fitness or non-fitness related. That didn't matter at all, but I wanted the questions to be like somewhat interesting because I've done a ton of Q&As answering like how to get abs, how to get lean, how to lose weight, etc, etc. So I asked you guys to switch it up with the questions just so we could keep it interesting, and I think you guys did a really good job. I have a ton of questions already, and I'm going to start them right now. What really got you motivated to start this fitness journey? I understand it's a lifestyle, but I fell off the boat and I feel like I'm in such a rough place. I need the motivation again. So when I first started, this was 3 years ago. It was my senior year of high school. It was actually before my senior year prom, and I was going with Omar, and I remember I just did not feel good about myself. I was in a really bad place as far as food goes. I didn't understand how to eat healthy. I didn't even know what that meant. It was before like the YouTube and Instagram fitness community kind of started, so I really didn't have anywhere to turn. And I started researching online how to get healthy, how to get out of those bad eating habits. I also had extremely bad body image issues, and that affected my confidence. And I even remember like the really big turning point for me was when I couldn't walk up 3 flights of stairs to get to my locker in my high school. So I remember I just woke up one day and I decided that I couldn't live like this anymore. I didn't want to feel crappy. I would always get heartburn, my stomach would always hurt, I had horrible headaches, and everything put together I guess just motivated me to change. And you know, when I first started, like I remember it was so hard to keep at it because right away you don't see progress, and you know, the initial thought is to just give up because it seems so hard and it seems so far away and almost impossible. But if you stick to it, and if you turn it into a lifestyle, if you turn it into not like a quick fix or oh, I just want to lose 10 pounds and forget about it. If you just turn it into bettering yourself physically, mentally, every other aspect of your life, if you make it part of your daily routine, if you make it part of your life, then it's easier to stick to it. And you know, since that day, that was what, 3 years ago, this is still part of my lifestyle, and now it's actually, you know, my passion and what I love to do, and I'm able to help other people get to their goals, and it's an amazing feeling. All-time favorite breakfast meal you could eat every single day for the rest of your life? Much love, Mariana. So beautiful as always. First of all, thank you so much. That is so sweet. And that is such a hard question. If I had to eat something for the rest of my life, you know what? A while ago, I would have probably answered oatmeal, but recently I'd have to say a grilled cheese sandwich because I've been low-key very obsessed. Next question, have you ever struggled with binge eating disorder? And I actually messaged this girl back and I said, thank you so much, it's a really good question. I think I've talked about this on my channel before, but it was like maybe a year ago or maybe a year and a half ago. But yes, I most definitely struggled with binge eating. You know, when I first got into fitness, like I said, there wasn't a lot of resources for girls to use on how to properly approach fitness, how to properly lose weight, or how to properly gain muscle. So when I first got started, I automatically began restricting myself. I was eating about 1,200 calories a day. I was doing tons of cardio. I did it all the wrong way. The extreme restriction caused me to have a horrible relationship with food, and I would binge like every couple of days. I would, you know, get back on track, what I would call get back on track, to clean eating and exercising and doing tons of cardio, to all of a sudden binging to the point where I would be sick. And the craziest thing of it all is I would actually have these days planned out. So I would tell myself, okay, you're going to be on track for 6 days out of the week, and then you're going to have a full cheat day is what I would call it. But the cheat day turned into a binge day. So I would start my morning with like pancakes, and then I would go to eat chocolate, and I would go to eat pizza and pasta and everything, and that caused me to have a horrible relationship with food. I remember I gained some of my weight back, and it definitely took me a while to rebuild my relationship with food. I actually had to let myself eat whenever I was hungry and let myself eat the foods that I actually wanted to eat, instead of just eating clean. And you know, I think I need to make a video about this because this is going to take up the whole Q&A, but I definitely will because I feel like it's an important topic to talk about. But I do have to say that if you are struggling with binge eating, you should definitely talk to someone, a professional who can help you, because it is an eating disorder. Personally, I didn't have to do that because I caught it very early on. It didn't develop into something worse. But I think that the best thing to do is to just get professional help. Next, I have a flat stomach, but how do I build abs? Nothing seems to work. So abs is just like any other muscle in your body. In order to actually build abs is you have to be in a caloric surplus, you have to train them, and you have to do compound movements, because a lot of people don't understand that compound movements such as squats, deadlifts, overhead press, bench, you're engaging your whole body. So by doing that and progressively overloading on that, you're actually going to be engaging your core, which means you're going to build your core. I would say to train your abs, every 2 to 3 times a week. Personally, I don't really train them all that much, maybe like once a week. But it also has a lot to do with genetics. I've said this so many times on my channel before, but I'm very blessed because I don't really hold a lot of fat in my stomach. And genetically, I actually don't have like blocky abs, I have obliques. That's why a lot of people will be like, oh my god, how do I get those lines on the side of your stomach? And you really can't. It's just how your body is built based off your genetics. So just remember that, but you can definitely build your abs if you want to. Besides missing your family, what is the #1 thing that you guys miss about home? I'm gonna be completely honest. I'd have to probably say my cat, but I think that counts as part of family. So other than that, I'm not gonna lie, I don't miss a lot of Chicago. We lived in the suburbs, we didn't actually live in the city. Our life was very repetitive. We did the same thing every single day. Every once in a while we'd go downtown Chicago, but other than that, it was a very small town and everyone knew each other's business, and I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that. So honestly, I just don't miss a lot from back home. I can't think of something that I can say, wow, I really miss that. We do live now in downtown Los Angeles, and it's so similar city-wise to Chicago, so I can't say I miss the city, but I don't know. If my parents were to move here, and same with Omar's parents, I honestly don't think they would ever go back. That's just, don't get offended, please. That's just my personal opinion. I lived there for 10 years, and I don't know. Do you and Omar ever talk about marriage in your future? How many people would you have at your wedding, and where would you have it since your families are so spread out? We actually have talked about this so many times. I have no idea where we want to have our wedding. My family is all in Ukraine, his family is all in Egypt, so it would probably be somewhere in Europe. There's so many times where Omar and I talk about wanting to get married by the beach and stuff, because we really want to have a beach wedding. I don't know. I honestly don't know where we'd have it. We've talked about maybe having it in Egypt and just flying out some of my family, because my family is a tiny bit smaller than his. But his family is huge. There's so many people, we would never be able to fly them up. But not anytime soon, just so you guys know. Next question, how has changing yourself physically impacted you mentally? This is a really, really good question, because I remember when I first got into fitness, I thought that, okay, if I just get my dream body, all of my problems are going to disappear. I'm all of a sudden going to learn to love myself. My insecurities are going to go away, etc., etc. And, that is just not the case. So bear with me because I have to word this correctly, but I think that changing myself physically and getting to a healthier body has helped me feel a ton more confident. And that kind of went into other areas of my life, like my friendships and my relationships and my school and my career, etc., etc. But it didn't all of a sudden, solve all my problems. I didn't all of a sudden just wake up one day wow, I love myself. I remember I struggled so much my first year and a half. I went from 150 pounds to 119 pounds, and I still didn't love myself. I still found insecurities about myself every single day. So the most important thing to do is to love yourself at any point that you're at in your life and in your physical state, because I think that changing yourself physically will only take you so far. You have to work on your mental state, and I also think that it's okay to love yourself while wanting more for yourself, instead of wanting to change myself out of hating my body, or out of hating how I felt or how I looked, etc., etc. So I hope that I answered that question correctly. Yes and no. So yes, it did help me gain a lot of confidence, and it has definitely changed my life. But later down the road, I still had to work on my mental state and learning to love myself regardless of what I look like.